favorite games that they love. Anyone else on the panel have anything that they want to share about some of their favorite things?
I just want to chime in. Sorry, one sec, Christopher. I'm not seeing the stream on our YouTube. So can you just double check the privacy settings? Oh, it looks like.
Thanks, Maxwell. Maxwell just posted it to the chat.
Oh, excellent.
Sweet. That's awesome. And what I realized that I forgot to mention is that we didn't introduce ourselves. So, hi everyone. We're really excited to meet you all. We are Geopipe, so we are the ones that are hosting the Game Jam, and we build digital twins of the real world, specifically New York City. And our judges are all members of our company. Christopher, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Thomas. I'm part of the Geopipe Vermont contingent. Also, co-founder and chief science officer with Geopipe. As Christopher said, we have been thinking about putting the real world into video games for a long time. I don't know how many of you checked out the My Life Among the Bricks game that I made and posted in the Showcase channel. But the first level of that is actually a recreation of Christopher's apartment that he lived in when we started Geopipe. So this has been something that we've been thinking about for a long time.
Chris, do you want to introduce yourself next?
Sure. Hello, I'm Chris. I'm basically a software developer here at Geopipe. I also am in Vermont, but kind of work remotely with everybody. So thank you.
And we've also got Marcus, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Marcus. I'm a software engineer here at Geopipe, and I do enjoy tinkering with Unity to make little games in my spare time.
And Lorenzo, I think you're next.
Hi everyone. I'm Lorenzo. I'm also one of the software engineers here. I'm currently based in Vermont, but I'm originally from the Chicago area. And yeah, it's been a great time working with the Geopipe team, making some really cool things.
Yeah, I'm Christy. I have been on the Discord, so you've probably chatted with me, and you've definitely seen a picture of my dog Cooper, who's my avatar. Um, and I am the only person on the Geopipe panel that's not a judge. I get to be really excited about every single entry and make sure that all of you guys feel celebrated. Uh, so one of the things that I was able to do was put together a little compilation video of the games that were submitted that had trailers or that we had footage of. So we're going to show that next.
Oh, and Christopher, can you pin the screen share on the YouTube so that will be prominent for everyone watching, not on Discord?
Right. Hopefully this audio works.
feel like we should start singing a song behind it. Do 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 do.
Bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum.
There totally was music behind this.
Being a dragon.
And like classic. We had some very like classic throw like nods to classic games at both video and not video. Awesome. Well, the next thing we wanted to go through was the judging criteria. So that's something that I'm sure most of you know about, so we won't take too much time on it, but we did want to explain why we ranked things the way we did. So Lorenzo, if you want to jump to the next slide. Our main thing was that we wanted people to create games that were impactful, that were fun to play, creative, beautiful, and used New York City well. So we really wanted the game mechanics to work. We wanted to see some creativity with maybe some new ideas for using those game mechanics. Visuals were definitely really important to us. We had a really wide spectrum of styles, which was so cool to see. And then creativity is always, I think, one of the hardest parts and one of the coolest parts to see, because it's something that only you can do, is come up with something, your own ideas. And then we really wanted to make sure that it felt like New York City, not a generic city, not just, oh, city of the month or city anywhere. We wanted it to really feel New Yorky, because that's what the story that we're trying to tell, and that was the theme. So we were really excited about that. And then we had some games that we actually wanted to highlight on the live stream before we announce our winner. So Lorenzo, if you want to pull up the first one that we wanted to shout out, was one of Christopher's favorites, which was Leyline Scenario, if I'm pronouncing that right. Um, Christopher, someone in the chat said that you are muted on YouTube Live. The person said Christopher is muted. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that one was super cool. Marcus, do you want to show off one of your favorites?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can start talking about it while I pull it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed the Crazy Taxi game. So some of the things it
You can
added to our New York City models was it added road lines and street markings and all those things, and a working
Mm.
traffic AI. There
So-
were cars driving around like they would in a normal city. And it really kind of brought the city to life, made it feel fuller. And of course, driving around was a lot of fun because there was drifting, driving at high speeds, trying to complete the tasks. I really enjoyed it. As you can see, there's cars just driving around. They stay in their lanes. They follow the normal rules of traffic. It felt like being in a real city in a lot of ways. And the controls were crazy, as the name of the game implies. So you had to slide around and drift, and you could crash and damage your car. And that made it just kind of a fun, chaotic experience in a realistic feeling driving city.
I love that this
Right.
one had a car flip in it.
Yeah, you can definitely flip if you get up enough speed.
I'm trying to get a good drift in. There we go. That's a little better.
One of the
I think you can.
other car and kind of drifting based games that I played from the as while judging, you could flip the car and it would leave tire marks in the air, which I think was a bug, but it was a really actually like visually cool bug, and so I really enjoyed like I basically spent the rest of the time just trying to flip my car and like leave cool patterns in the air.
That's super cool. Is your engine overheating? Is that what's happening?
It's a damage counter. So because I am a bad driver in this game, not in real life, I'll have the audience know. Um, all right, that was that car's fault that time. It wasn't
Yeah,
my
yeah,
fault.
yeah, sure, sure. Tell that to your insurance. I think your head gasket's gonna blow.
And then I'll just demo the final crash. Hopefully, oh come on, there we go.
Oh, sweet. That's amazing. That's phenomenal. All right. Lorenzo, do you want to jump to the next game for us?
Sure thing.
Okay, awesome.
Christopher, your video's off now.
Thomas, if you want to start talking about
Sure. Yeah, so the one that I wanted to talk about was Hope at Dawn, I think also called Operation Manhattan. I forget which one was the subtitle and which one was the proper title. But this was a tactical shooter where you control an increasingly large squad of robots defending a base from incoming waves of evil zombie creatures. The thing that it reminded me of, so as somebody who's played a lot of StarCraft, there is both a satellite view and then like a third person view where you could zoom down to the perspective of one of the mechs that you were controlling. The satellite view, felt a lot like StarCraft. The third person view felt a lot like, you're just playing a standard shooter. And the combination of those reminded me of a game that I crowdfunded back in the day called Natural Selection 2. I don't know how many folks in the stream have played that. But this, combo of being able to play it from the top down like an RTS, and then, from ground level like you're actually, one of the units is a really cool combination.
Hopefully it's streaming correctly now.
Yes. We got a nice little tutorial on Windows cloud security scans, but we do now see the game. So as reinforcements arrive, you can see out in the upper right corner there's a unit icon, and then as you get more units to control, you basically get more of those little dudes up in the upper right corner that you can press their hotkeys to switch between their perspectives. And much like playing an RTS, or the units basically handle shooting for themselves. So it's much more about the tactics of where you're positioning the units to support each other and support the base than it is the like really fine motor skills of like targeting incoming zombies.
I didn't read the instructions closely enough when I played the game, and I didn't realize you could go back and get your units repaired. So every time I sent one out, I would wander too far away, and it would take too much damage, and then I would just have to move on to the next unit.
I basically just played this like tower defense of like coming up with formations around the base where my guys were standing, so that while the zombies ran at one of them, the other ones would be picking off the zombies, and then just cycle who had to be out in the front, and that worked pretty well. I think this might be the point in the game where our next unit gets airdropped in, and I like that kind of touch of you could actually see the units getting dropped off via air support.
Another thing I liked about this game is the map labels some of the streets when you go to map view, and it does do that accurately. I checked, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, I picked up on the road names too. I thought that was a good touch.
There was an interesting visual glitch that you saw when that unit landed. Is you could occasionally walk. There's this really nice effect as you get more units that you can see basically an outline around each unit, so that you can kind of see where they are. Basically like a selection icon, but you can accidentally walk one of your other units inside the selection icon or inside the selection outline. It like blows up and covers the screen, and it can be a very distracting green glow. So there's definitely, this is a game that I'd love to see, ongoing development, more levels, see how the story unfolds.
For sure, that looks really cool.
Yep.
All right, we should probably move on to our next game, as fun as this is. We're trying to get through a bunch of them because they're all really good, but we only have so much time before everyone gets sick of us. So one of the other ones that we really wanted to focus on was one that really showed off New York City in particular. I know Christopher called this out because he is a New York City resident, but Lorenzo, do you want to pull that one up and talk about it a little?
Yes. Once I get. This game to me, it felt like the most like it felt the most simulator like where it felt like it was based in reality. Like if someone told me that the content of this game was like based on true events, I would have been like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, I could believe it for this. Oh, wonderful.
A little bit of a lag.
One second. I'm going to quickly, because this game, I it was very nicely artistically done, where it's actually like kind of running at a lower resolution. So in my mind, let's see here. Then, so in my mind, it felt very like a PlayStation 2 kind of game. And then No, and now it's not working. I had it working earlier.
Oh no.
Christopher, if you want to talk about this game a little bit.
And
Can
Christopher,
people
we're
see it
seeing
now?
reports that you're still
You're still
just
muted.
muted on YouTube. I'm wondering if your microphone is since you're not in the audio output from your own machine.
So that is what I'll do.
Okay.
Can people see the game now?
You can see a black
No, black screen right now,
I can see
unfortunately.
the mouse.
I'm afraid we should
Yeah.
probably just skip.
probably
Yeah.
just keep going.
Oh, this
But-
is really this game in particular. It was one of my favorites. I really wish that people could see it because it's very cool.
You can go to itch.io and you can actually
Yes.
check out all of the entries, and should.
Yes, please do.
All right, wonderful. Yeah.
All right. Another one we really wanted to show off was there's a lot of creativity in one in particular, and we only had one game that submitted a cutscene to set the story, so we wanted to share that with you, even though it probably won't have audio.
We can fill it in the audio if you want.
There's a little metallic
Bonk.
chunk at this point.
Donk. Clang.
Honestly, the animation's pretty pretty self-explanatory for what this sounds.
There was great sound in it, but I thought this was hilarious. So
Also, if
well
you
done.
if you missed it, that was Atlas pulling one of our street lights out of the ground.
And that's a real New York City statue, which makes it extra New Yorky, which is fun. Yeah, there it is. So another one that we really wanted to shout out was something that really displayed visuals in a really beautiful way. So we're gonna go and show Survive the Wild. Chris, if you want to talk about that one a little bit.
Sure. I guess to give some background, for whatever reason, this one really hit home for me. So I think the thing that I took away from it was really good environmental storytelling. So I really enjoy scenes that can kind of build this entire fabricated story in my mind just based on what I'm seeing. And the moment you get dropped into this game, the sound really kind of pulls you in. It just sets the tone. So you have an overarching sunshine. You've got great visual effects on showing that this city is out there, but it's not clear. And then the color palette, in my mind, really sets the tone. So it's actually it's mostly solid colors. I don't want to say it's basic, but It's solid colors with kind of a hybrid, low poly, mid poly, environmental assets, and it just really works really well. So, you know, the reason I really like it is I just love wandering around. That's the key bit. But then if you actually get into this, like there's on-screen controls, you can repair the bridges. The whole idea is to get out. I have not gotten that far. I've only gotten to the second island past the first bridge. So there's a night mechanic, which is really great. So I don't think we'll get there. But you can turn on a torch, and you basically have to survive these, whatever they are, ghosts, I guess, and kind of take you down. And there actually is some like in-game help if you hit tab. Lorenzo, you can bring up the menu, so you've got your bag, you've got some stats information around hunger and thirst mechanic. So yeah, overall, I think this was just a gut feel for me. It really worked well, and I felt at home. The game I most recently played that felt like this was a game called Stranded Deep. That's more of like a crafting mechanic game, but it also had this atmospheric aspect to it. Let's see, I had some other notes. Let me see. It's hard. That's the only one I didn't call out. I found the rate of hunger and thirst was pretty intense. So while I was wandering around just kind of taking it in, I would die pretty quickly. But overall, this was great, and this is a game jam, but like this gave me feelings of when I was roaming the world in the original Horizon Zero Dawn. It just, for whatever reason, it just really struck a chord with me.
Yeah, I had to alternate on my playthroughs of like running around really fast trying to explore and figure stuff out, and then like actually trying to survive to do something after.
Yeah, it's very Dark Souls-like, right? Like, let's figure it out and die and just start over and go back and take another run this time.
I was impressed how the tutorial was built into the game. I thought it was much more organic than, even some non-indie games that I've played.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, the onboarding was right from the beginning. There's little things on the ground that you can read. But once you've played it, you can just skip all those, so you don't have to waste time with the tutorial. So, yeah, I think there's some professional touches here for a quick game jam game. Here we go. We're going to build the bridge. Perfect.
Yeah, it's funny. When I was like doing my test playthroughs, I would like speed run to this part. And then doing it for here, when I'm trying to show everything off, it really threw me off from what I was used to.
I know. I also shared a bunch of the game submission ideas with just my friends and people because I was proud of you guys. And this concept in particular kept bringing people back. This was one of the ones people asked the most questions about, and were really interested in going to Itch to play. So well done.
Yeah, it's like I said, it really struck a chord for me. So it was good.
Yeah. Some other games that were really beautiful that we wanted to call out were, it was titled NYC-Game by DPLDS. And just, it was a really beautiful marble game that had this gorgeous light. And I know, Christopher, that was one of the ones that you really loved.
I did. I enjoyed that. Well, I'm a sucker for that kind of game in general. It was kind of half marble run type game, half like if you've ever played a parkour challenge in Minecraft where somebody's built like a parkour challenge map. So the desire to just keep replaying over and over again from the last checkpoint to get the marble just right to get over a gap and not fall down from the top of buildings into the street of New York was compelling, and again, I feel like the three-dimensional aspect of it, being able to jump from rooftop to rooftop as a marble, with these certain challenges was really impressive. This was, I think, one of the certainly, well, I don't know if I want to say visually polished. It certainly was one of the most GPU stressful games, and I think the visuals that come out show why it puts your GPU to the test so much.
Yeah, I sadly was not able to judge this one because it would crash on my decade-old NVIDIA card that only has 2 gigs of GPU RAM.
All the while, Lorenzo is running at 130 frames per second while streaming.
Yeah.
That's
That's a flex.
It's beautiful though. I love the color palette.
It really looks nice. And it's another game like the one...
Reflections on the marble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, this one was a fun one, because if you go to DPLDS profile page on itch, there's a clear ongoing theme of marble games. And so we saw, that was one of the first users who entered, and we were like, hey, I think we're getting a marble game. And sure enough, a month later, we got a marble game. And it was a gorgeous marble game.
Yeah.
Like the last one, like Survive the Wild, I really like that it builds the tutorial into the game. So if any of the other judges got that far in the game, you can at a certain point like swing almost, Spider-Man like from these barbells that appear in the air. And it does a great job of when you get near enough, just like showing an icon that suggests, oh, you need to, hold down the mouse button here in order to swing from these. Sorry, I think I interrupted you.
Yeah, you're good. I'm really disappointed I wasn't able to get the audio working in a frantic bit of troubleshooting, because I feel like I really like the sound design here. That, like, every time the ball hits any object, it's like a very satisfying click. The same thing with all the rolling, the like whoosh of the wind. Oh, there we go, perfect. And I'm definitely not going to make this jump in time.
No.
Oh,
Nice.
oh wow, that's the first time that I've actually made the jump and not immediately rolled off and relied on the checkpoint to get me back.
Thank you to the author for adding checkpoints. Thank you.
Yes. That was the other one. When I was playing this, I was thinking that this would be a very good speedrun game. That it feels like it rewards like mastery of the mechanics very well, and definitely, while there is a set path to follow, I feel like given enough time and enough people trying, you could find alternate ways to like leap from rooftop to rooftop.
I bet.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this.
Definitely. And if you want to pull up our next one, Lorenzo, another one that really showed off some visual stuff was Last Light. It had this really cool apocalyptic feel. Definitely like jump scare. I know it, like whoever this author definitely personally tapped into my own fear of coconut crabs, and whatever the monster is looks like a coconut crab, which kills me. But it's definitely really the ambiance is really spooky, but it's just very detailed and really lovely.
Let's go to...
Yeah. And we don't have to necessarily go all the way into playing it, because I know we're running a little bit behind. But I just wanted to show off like the feel of it is really cool. Does anyone else have anything that they wanted to talk about with this one?
What I really liked was like the facades put on, but also if you just look up, there's the monorail or whatever it is throughout. So that kind of like filled out what was not in the GeoPipe base model, and if you look down there, it kind of fills that in. So I really like the environmental design.
Yeah, I felt the elevated railroad part in particular, the elevated subway structure made it feel actually even more New Yorkian. We have like the classic, New York hot dog stand. We have, all the street furniture. As Chris said, we have storefronts that, make the buildings even more like real buildings. So, I thought this creator really ran with the idea of making it New York. Oh, and of course, the steam pipes that everybody is confused why there's steam coming out of the ground.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
Shoot, I reloaded at the wrong point.
This is another one I found really challenging, especially ammo management.
Yeah, I died a lot.
I noticed that from the footage when I was doing a compilation. I was like, oh no, he died. Oh, he died again. Okay, all right.
Oh, that's a big one. I did not play this game enough to get to this guy.
Literally my nightmare. super beautiful. Yeah, I really loved that. All of that like street level detail of those facades really make it feel like a city. It makes it feel like a little grimy too, which is fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's talk about why we were inspired to really make this available to creators. Christopher, do you want to share about what you were looking for with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we've seen a lot of ways that content comes to the game world. All the way from indie creators who create their own content, out of necessity, indie creators who take advantage of existing assets out there, all the way down the spectrum to AAA companies who have millions or tens of millions of dollars to throw at building, a game environment. You can imagine, I probably shouldn't name specific names, but, a game where you need to swing through a real world city could have dozens and dozens of artists, and a budget that outstrips what a large chunk of the indie community put together could spend on building a game. So it was important to us to democratize the content. We really believe that it is incredibly valuable to have the real world as video game assets, to, even if you don't have a huge budget, or if you do, to be able to pull real world cities, whether they're New York, San Francisco, London, Beijing, you name it, into games and build a game around this environment. Whether it is the city itself that's important, whether you really want to tell a New York City story, or whether what you want to do is just set something in a huge environment, an environment where you can go for dozens of miles in any direction, or where you can, climb skyscrapers or descend underground into the subway. And we had the inspiration behind this game jam around being able to take this democratized New York City, this New York City that's available to anyone for free to do anything with. We published it with the Creative Commons attribution license, so anybody could take it and do whatever they want, including sell these games that you create, and just let them run free with their creativity. And I'm really pleased to see how that worked out.
Definitely. I think one of the things that you're able to do a lot is customize these models and really bring your own personality as creators to it. And so, we can provide New York as it is, but you can really transform it into New York as you dream it is. So we had some slides where we just wanted to show some really pretty and fun customizations. These just had a lot of personality. So this is Loader Simulator, where you kind of like floppy physics trying to move a box to earn money to get a new keyboard, which I thought was a really fun story. We also have Last Light, which we just showed, and the marble game. You can really see how styles change, and we just have this really broad variety of styles because you're not spending the entire time building the city itself. You can actually customize it and make it the way you like. And then we had to do a personality shout out for Taxi Menagerie with definite props for the voice acting. I wish that you guys could hear this, but the taxi driver has a strong, quintessential strong New York accent, as well as voicing, I think, the animals as well. So that was pretty fun.
Definitely pick up this, download this game from Itch and play it. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I spent more time in that game than I should have.
Christopher, can you give us a rendition of the "This City's Full of Animals" voice line? Can you put on a New York accent?
Oh man. See, the problem is I don't actually have that strong of a New York accent normally. The city is full of animals.
There was definitely like a forget about it kind of vibe. So I'm sure you guys have all been waiting. We do want to announce our Game Jam winner. We really picked this based on the customization and style, the consistency, the creativity overall, and then also the direct ties to New York. We'd love if you stayed on for a few more minutes after we play this video, because we actually have a gift for all of those who submitted. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and play the winner. And this used to have music.
Very good music.
Hooray!
Atlas swings.
Yes. Do our judges want to share a little bit about that?
Sure. So Atlas swings was, according to the entire criteria that we use for judging, I think it ticked all the boxes. You know, New York City was there. New York City was featured. They took our models and they customized them. They were really creative with what they did in that New York City, using a real New York City statue. Building a game mechanic where you had to navigate the city to get your globe back to Rockefeller Center, and all of the little details from extra things you could do, like if you hit the globe too hard, you could actually make buildings vanish in a puff of smoke, to the trailer, to the consistency of the style throughout the game. We were really impressed by the concept, the execution, and the use of the New York City models.
Absolutely. Any of our other judges want to share some accolades?
Yeah, I mean, we showed this to a lot of people, and I think everyone who saw this game just reacted with pure delight, including gamers and non-gamers alike, and just the creativity of the concept and the fact that this is a story that has to be told in New York. I think all of those were important in this decision.
Yeah, I didn't judge it, but I think the fact that they used a lamppost, so they didn't just use our building models and street models, they actually used a lamppost, part of something that is part of New York City. I thought that was really fun and clever. And I love that it's an actual statue that is in New York and that you have to put it back. I think that's just very, very, very fun.
I also want to add that, I feel like most contest people say something like this, but I absolutely mean it. We had a really hard time choosing a winner. The field was full of really well-executed games, really creative games. It was clear that the contestants, the creators, put so much effort into a lot of the entries and really thought about, not only how to build a game that's fun, but how to put New York City into that game, how to make it part of the story that's being told, how to have a story. I mean, I was really impressed by the level of polish that went into so many of our entries, and what people did, just taking the idea and running with it. So while we can only have one winner, I think we definitely want to congratulate all of the entries for everything that they were. Really impressive work.
Yeah, we absolutely love that.
I was going to say, with that, Christy, do you want to talk a little bit about the last component of
yes,
what we're giving away?
So I'm glad you guys are staying with us in recognition of all the cool work that you guys are doing and the work that you guys are going to continue to do. We are actually making some upcoming asset packs that are available for free to anyone who submitted an entry. So please go ahead and DM me with your email address, or just to confirm the one that I have on Itch is the right one to send, because we want to give you guys access to what's coming out. It hasn't even launched yet, but we are thrilled to share it with you guys at no cost. Everyone else is going to have to pay for it, but you guys really are talented, and we'd love to see what you guys create. So here's just a little teaser of what that asset pack looks like. It is new and updated and exciting.
So we've pushed the level of quality on a lot of different things in our models, from how the buildings look and the textures that were, how we're bringing the textures into the maps, to all the way down to street level, to making sure that all of the street furniture is there, more and better trees, and we have things like trash cans, lampposts, we have the Link NYC kiosks, the mailboxes, all the little things that go into making the world feel even more immersive. The street signs, as you can see there, which we think will help tell stories that are more human scale, whether you're driving or walking or, just exploring the city, and also make the world even more immersive. And we also want to continue getting your feedback. If there's anything you want to share with us about your experiences using our content, the next cities you want to see, how we can support you as creators even more, we'd love to hear that from you.
Absolutely. And on a personal level, if you want to give me any feedback about this game jam, we are looking forward to hosting more. We're going to be at Game Developers Conference in San Francisco in next month. We're also sponsoring the Global Game Jam right now. So anything that we can do to help or support or give feedback on, we'd love to. And yeah, please let us know, because we would love to have you join us for the next one. Congratulations again to everyone. We've been so impressed and so delighted with everything that you've created, and we really hope that you continue to hang out in our Discord, and we would love to see what you're doing next, or if you do any iterations on these games, we would love to see them. We're really invested in each of these projects, so we'd love to see what you create going forward.
Yeah, congratulations. And
yeah.
Please keep building those games. Please building the entries that you put into the contest, because I want to see the next step.
Absolutely. Okay, guys. Well, we are almost at 50 minutes, so we're going to jump off because you're probably sick of us. But congratulations again to everyone. Atlas Swings, if you want to reach out to us, we are going to go ahead and make sure that your prize is all taken care of. And please send me or confirm your email in Discord DMs or on itch, or you can just email me at christy@gopi.pe as well. All right, guys. See you for the next one.
Thanks, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.